Hi, Tina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi Anna, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So, Tina, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what exactly that you do?
Yeah, okay, look, I'm the founder and director of Markethub Solutions. We are a full service marketing agency in Melbourne, focused mainly on social media, automation, and email marketing. So we started about 3 years ago. What happened was I was in a corporate job as the head of marketing for about 4 or 5 years, and honestly, I was just a little bit bored. So I decided to quit and
Everyone,
do
yeah.
something else. Yeah. I decided to quit and do something else with my life during COVID, as many people did. And what happened was I started as a consultant for different companies as their marketing, like fractional marketing manager or their automation expert, because I have skills in automating HubSpot. So I started doing that. And while I was working with these businesses, they came up to me and asked if I knew anyone in SEO or PPC because I'm in the same marketing industry. So if I knew anyone, should I refer someone? And I realized that there was a pretty big gap in the market in terms of having a full service marketing agency that also delivers results and have experienced people on the team, and they can project manage at the same time. Because what happens right now is with agencies, you may have young talent that's very creative, but they don't have the experience. And they also don't have project managers. So if you are working with an agency that has a lot of moving parts, you will have like five different people that you're dealing with in that agency. With us, simpler in the sense that you have one project manager that's managing the whole marketing team in our agency and also dealing with the client. So the client is only dealing with one person, even though they have five people working on their campaign in the back end. And that's the sort of like the gap that I saw in the market. And I started the agency about 3 years ago. And this year is when we have really started ramping up with how many clients we have on board. We were very boutique before, and now we are becoming a bigger clientele sort of
Nice.
company.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's congratulations.
Thank you.
And you mentioned that when you quit your job, you already had a client straight away.
Mm. Yeah.
How did you manage it?
Yeah. So I've always been, I'm curious. I'm just a curious soul. So even when I started marketing, I made sure that I was linking with everyone that I met for like a good. So I've been in marketing for about a decade. So if you say 3 years ago, that's 7 years worth of meeting people and connecting with them on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, and having their phone numbers stored in my phone. So when I decided to start my consulting, I made sure that I posted about it on LinkedIn. I made sure I was posting about it on Facebook and Instagram. I called people on my phone and let them know that this is what I was doing. I set up meetings, coffee meetings with them beforehand, before I quit, and made sure that if they needed my expertise, basically, I was available in the next few weeks. And that's how, when I quit my full-time job, I was able to transition into sort of like a consulting role pretty quickly. I probably started with about 15 hours a week, and I was very quickly booked out to about 40, 50 hours a week. And that was another thing I realized, that I, as a consultant, couldn't scale the company. I had to make sure that I wasn't just selling my time, I was selling a product. And having an agency helps you scale. And now my time is mine. And I'm not selling it. Like, I'm not putting a dollar value against every hour that I'm working. Instead, it's a team working. Yeah. So that's how I started getting clients initially.
Amazing. And what do you reckon are the biggest platform for you to find the clients? Is it LinkedIn? Is it
Mm.
Facebook? Is it Instagram?
Look, I started with social media, but LinkedIn is a good platform. But there are other websites out there like freelancers.com. There's Expert 360. There's Bark. There's what else was there? There was something. I'm forgetting the name of the app right now, but there are other websites out there that are more for consultants, freelancers. And I also collaborated with other agencies like the marketing room who find clients for you, and you basically go in as a fractional marketing manager. So those are really good platforms to get you started as a consultant.
Amazing. And are all your clients are based in Melbourne or in Australia or even international?
Yeah, so we have a couple of international clients, but mainly we are in Australia, clients in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth.
Amazing. Sounds great. Well, it sounds like a dream story. You quit your job, you started your business straight away, you had the client straight away, quickly.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of like crying behind the scenes at
Well,
night.
tell me about the cries. It's like what I'm interested in because so far it's just a fairy tale.
Yeah, look, it sounds like a fairy tale, but there were a lot of days where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills next month. There was a good 8 months where everything that I was earning, even though I was earning quite well, everything was going back into the business, and I was struggling to pay bills. And with business, that's basically the case. Like, you don't, unless you have a really good model in place, every month you feel like, oh, I don't know where the money's coming from next month. That's not the case anymore for us, thank goodness. But initially, that's what happens. And you have to get used to being uncomfortable with not knowing where the money is going to come from, and sort of like trust the process. Talk to people who have been in the same situation as you, but they're doing way better than you are. They'll be able to tell you how much they struggled when they first started and how unsure they were about the work they were doing. So yes, there were a lot of days where like at night I'll just cry myself to bed, and my partner will be like, look, it's fine, you've got a safety net, don't worry, you'll be fine. But then the next morning I would wake up and I'll, reach out to the people that I need to be talking to and ask them relevant questions about the concerns I have, and they were able to sort of give me a bigger perspective on things and be like, hey, this is what you need to have in place to then sort out your anxieties and worries around not knowing where the money's coming from the next month. Once I did that, that's when I've like calmed down. Otherwise, it was a good 8 months where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I completely can relate, and I think like many people can relate. Zoe was smiling, but like crying at the night time because you're uncertain what the future will be like and you don't know
Mm,
what you're doing. I think it is quite familiar for many people who trying to start the business or just started, and I think it's the most important and most difficult part as well to scale it from
yeah.
0 to 1. Once it's at the stage of one, you kind of can roll it a little bit, pivot it and everything, but it is at least there's some stability there that you found this market fit. And what
Mm.
was the key point for you in your journey, like when you stopped crying in the night and when you figured out, oh wow, now that's it is a stable business?
Yeah, okay. So for that, I had to figure out where the leads were coming from every month. So basically, for a marketing agency like ours, having clients signing on every month is what ensures that we keep growing as a company. Otherwise, you if you don't have the cash flow, then you can't hire the best talent in town, and it has a domino effect on everything else. So for us, we had to figure out a lead engine that was serving us with leads every single month, and that way we were able to backtrack. Okay, these are the leads we have this month. Let's say I've got 50 leads coming in this month. We've booked calls with 25 of them, and I have you know I'm sure I'll be closing at least half of them, because that's our usual close rate. That means that this is the amount of revenue we can expect for the next month. Once we had that engine in place, that's when things became a bit more stable, because we knew where the revenue was coming from every month, and we weren't dependent on, oh shit, like, sorry, I don't know where the cash flow is coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Thank you. And since you're in marketing, what is the latest marketing insights and strategies that you can share, especially right now with the growth of AI? Are
Yeah.
you leveraging AI in the marketing strategy? And if yes, then how?
Yeah. Look, I think the simplest one is ChatGPT. Having ChatGPT has at least saved me 10 hours every week because with marketing, as you would know, there's a lot of scripting for us. There's a lot of website content that we script and redo and redo until it's perfect for the client. And a lot of that gets run through ChatGPT for to make sure that it's matching, the brand voice and the target audience that we're working with. And when it comes to automation, we use CRM systems, and CRM systems have their own AI. So if you work with HubSpot, they have their own AI that we use and implement to create workflows for our clients as well. So those are the two things where we use AI the most. And also, we also work with other automation companies like Go High Level. Zapier is a common one. But AI, like, we don't use it for the creatives, but we definitely use it to minimize the work that is repeatable. And that even the team uses it to make sure that we are up to a standard with the scripting that we're doing, and you can basically teach ChatGPT how to create a benchmark for your business and stick to it. That way, we have consistency across all brands, all clients that we're working with, and also some tools that we use for construction and real estate businesses to 3D render 3D render their, what do you call them? The blueprint of a home, for example. AI has made it really easy for us to create graphics like that, and they're customized graphics. So we've been using AI to sort of complement the work that we were already doing. It's not replacing anything. It's just complementing what we're already doing.
Amazing. And you mentioned quite a few different industries. What's your opinion on being a sort of niche agency and working with
Mm.
particular industry versus being a broader agency and working with multiple industries?
Yeah, look, we have tried to niche in terms of industry before, and we do
What was the niche?
predominantly work. Yeah, so we predominantly work in construction and real estate, but we do have experience in other industries as well. So that's why we don't niche industry, but we niche in the quality of client that we're working with. So we usually only work with B2B clients or B2C clients that are in the high ticket luxury area. Otherwise, we don't have the infrastructure to work on smaller projects. We only work with medium to larger projects, which is why we niche for target audience, not for industry. And yeah, so and also like with construction, and we are in social media at the moment, given the market in Melbourne with construction at the moment, construction is where social media is currently highly needed. So that's why we are more focused on construction and real estate.
Nice. And is there any campaigns that you're particularly proud of or anything phenomenal, the benchmark and something that you always showcase to the clients?
Yeah, so for our construction clients, we have this marketing funnel where we actually create 45 leads for them within 90 days. And that's through our social media package. Now, if you are to put a value on that, each lead could potentially be of 150K value. So delivering um, 45 clients in 90 days, that's, give me a second, 45 into 150, that's nearly $6 million in revenue, new revenue for them. And for a business that is doing $10 million in total, and that's the average construction company, adding that level of value to that company, it's massive. So we have seen some of our clients just completely turn within 3 months. And what happens is we're making ourselves redundant because in 3 months' time, they're like, Tina, we're too busy. Stop everything. We don't want any more leads. We can't keep up. So that has been super great for us because we are adding that level of value to our clients. And we have this marketing engine that's replicable for a lot of other construction companies and real estate companies. And we're basically taking that to the market at the moment.
That's really phenomenal. Yeah, that's a great growth.
Mm.
And how big is your team right now?
Yeah, we are a team of 7 people, and it's a mix of full-time and part-time people. Some are working as you would with marketing. Some are working as they travel. So they might be working from Vietnam, they might be working from Thailand, but they are all based initially from Melbourne. And we have our head office in Narwhal.
Nice. And how do you find talent?
For now, it's all been through my network. So I am pretty good with networking with people. And that's how we met as well.
Exactly.
So a lot of the talent, I've literally just met people on the way and I've offered them jobs. The only person that I hired through like a proper channel was my full-time social media coordinator that's been with us for about 8 months now, and my editor. Those are the people that we had to source externally, but everyone else is people that I've met on the way.
Amazing. And have you ever dealt with burnout and how did you handle it?
Yeah. Look, again, like the first year and a half when what I was saying before about like crying every night, it's not good for you. It's so bad for
Exactly.
you
You
being in
shouldn't
that.
sleep at night.
Yeah, that level of stress. So like the first year and a half, I ended up in the hospital 3 times
Oh,
due
wow.
to due to burnout and just inflammation in the body because I was just so stressed out. So it took me a while to learn that your body is your temple and you need to take care of yourself before you take care of anything else. And I've had to teach myself to take care of myself in that sense and learn when I feel a bit burned out. So now if I am feeling burned out, even during the week, I just touch base with myself and see if I'm breathing right, if I'm feeling anxious or not. If I am, then I meditate, and that usually helps me release all the anxiety that I'm feeling. And if it becomes a bit bigger, where I've been too busy during the week and I haven't touched base with myself, and I can feel it, it's just sitting in there. I can just feel it in the back of my mind. Then I usually take time off during the weekend, go see a friend, go for a hike, go for a party because I love dancing and just take time for myself. Spending time with loved ones, family, friends, that usually helps me recharge as well. And I also love spending time on my own, watching a movie, reading a book. So usually what I do is if I'm feeling burned out, I just check in with myself and ask myself, what are you feeling like? What do you need to do? Do you need to go out and see people, or do you need to be at home and just read a book? And then I prioritize that. And I have to highlight the fact that I've had to teach myself how to do that. Before, I would have a jam-packed calendar and I didn't know how to say no to events, no to family events, and I would just be like, no, I need to be there because I want to support other people. But I've learned that if my tank is empty, then I can't give back to the people I love. So I've had to learn to say no to specific events that I don't want to be at. I know it'll suck the energy out of me. And I've learned to only focus on events and people that are sort of feeding into me as well as me feeding into them. Um, and that's a learning process. That's taken like a good year and a half.
Yeah, thank you so much for disclosing it because I think you touched like two very important topics and not everyone
Mm,
is feeling it. Mental health, that is like my problem as well. You know, like sometimes I just like because I work, I know sometimes 18 hours a day and it's like
mm,
not just one day, it's like multiple days in a row.
mm,
Like my eyes start twitching and I'm
mm.
like, oh my God. And then just like have to disconnect and just, I don't know, go out,
Yeah,
enjoy hikes or something like that. But the
yeah,
other good topic that you touched is about disconnecting from people who don't give you back and just suck energy out of you as well. That's, I think, quite important as well.
mm,
Saying like, way to success sometimes is just also burning some bridges and associate yourself with the people who exchanging this energy with you, whom like you
yeah,
are them and they're uplifting you rather than just like sucking all this energy and then you feel drained.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I'm in the social media industry, but at the same time, I have realized how much that can burn you out and how quickly, because you're having just really quick touch points with people and they're not deep. They're just surface level connections. And doing that a lot, like for example, with us, we're on social media like 7, 8 hours a day. So I've had to learn to recognize when I'm feeling burned out from that and step away and just go on do not disturb. So after 9 o'clock every night, I go on do not disturb and I do not touch my social media because I know I need that 8 hour break from social media, from basically screens to feel normal again, to have my serotonin and my dopamine at a good level, get a good night's sleep. I don't sleep a lot, but at least be in bed, and get the rest that you deserve. And that's very important. Otherwise, I know for me personally, I start feeling burned out from social media pretty quickly. There are so many people out there trying to get your attention. Learning to say no to them, it's very important, especially when you're running a business and you have big goals to focus on.
Yeah, it is absolutely a great point as well because sometimes, and that's again, I'm measuring it by myself. When I'm not on social media, I feel like absolutely amazing and productive. But then you open the phone, and for example, you want to post like business post, right? But that sucks you in to just scroll, 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 and just 1, 2 hours later, you like realize what have I done. So how do you
Yeah.
actually manage it? How do you say no to this one? Do you just post or do you do scrolling as well afterwards? Because you obviously have to watch something to understand what's the
Mm.
side.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've allocated time for doom scrolling.
Okay.
It's like
Well,
a really
up
strange
to
thing to
times
do.
this out.
Yeah. So what I've done is in my calendar, I have time allocated for everything and I make sure that I stick to that calendar because if I'm just doing whatever I want to do, then I'll not get anything done. So I stick to that calendar. I usually set up my calendar on a Sunday a week in advance and I allocate priorities like, okay, I'll allocate an hour for meditation. I'll allocate an hour for laundry. I'll allocate an hour for talking to my friends, catching up with everyone. And then I'll allocate like an hour before, like during dinner, for example, to like either watch a movie or read a book or to doom scroll on Instagram. So whatever I feel like on the day, I have at least that flexibility to choose because like being a marketer or like being a business owner, you have to have two brains. One is very analytical, the other is very creative. And I know for myself, I have to let my creative brain be sometimes. So on one hand, I am very disciplined in making sure my calendar, is structured and I've got every hour booked in for the tasks that I need to do and I stick to it. But then I do have in that calendar times allocated to just do whatever I feel like doing. Just be creative. If you want to paint, go paint. If you want to doom scroll, you doom scroll. If you want to just read, you read. So that's how I sort of control how much I'm doom scrolling on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah.
And is it working?
It's working. Yes. Yes, definitely working. I have some like probably like every few months I'll feel like okay, maybe I need to rethink this a little bit because I do find myself if I can't sleep, for example, at night, I do have the urge to reach for my phone and just doom scroll on my phone. And I especially when I'm stressed out, I tend to do that more. But I do give myself grace sometimes to just be like, hey, tonight, if you're doing it, okay, fine, do it. But tomorrow you get back on the wagon and do not doom scroll anymore at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Great. And just the last question before rapid fire round.
Mhm.
What is the plan for the next year or 2 years for the agency? And how
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So our aim is to double the revenue and double the team that we currently have. So we have 7 people on board right now. We want to get to 15 by the end of this year. And for the next 2 years, it's literally that. Just keep doubling until I reach my goal, my revenue goal. And I've given myself sort of like 5 years to reach that goal. And we want to become one of the most well-known marketing agencies in Australia and potentially overseas as well within the US market. And we're working with a few different US businesses that are helping us structure our business further. So we have things in plan and in place to keep working on that goal.
Amazing. Now I'm going to ask you a few just very quick questions and just
Sure.
try to answer them as quick as possible.
Instagram.
Why?
Because on Instagram, you'll find casual people as well as C suite people. But on LinkedIn, it's just C suite.
And what's your favorite campaign, not yours, of all time?
Favorite campaign of all time. The first ever million I made for a client. That was my favorite campaign. And we made $1 million in 3 weeks through the strategy we implemented. That was
Wow.
my favorite campaign. Yeah.
And what about the one which is not yours?
Not mine. Oh my God. I love everything Nike does. I love everything Coke does. Some of the advertising Coke has done, it talks to every single individual in a different way. So any campaign run by Coke in terms of advertising and Nike, they
What is
connect.
so special about them?
They are not product specific. They are more emotional. They connect with you in a very emotional way. And how they connect with you, it's different for each person. It may feel nostalgic to one person, but to another person, it'll feel nostalgic in a completely different way. And to do that with an advertisement within a few seconds, that's incredibly genius.
It is indeed. And what's your favorite marketing book?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me see. Let me see. I've got them right here. Oh, which one would it be? I would say, yeah, Sales and 80/20 Sales and Marketing by Perry Marshall. That was a good book.
And what
I
do you think
learned a lot from that one.
underrated book
Most underrated book,
about?
Alex Hermozi's 100 Leads. Yeah. Sorry, 1,000 Leads. Yeah, that one. Most underrated.
Interesting. And what do you think is the biggest pet peeve in the industry right now?
What do you mean by pet peeve?
I don't know, something that you don't really like.
In the marketing industry?
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to go
Something that
viral.
maybe the customers, I don't know, asking you to do, and you're like,
Yeah, I just want to go viral. I've had clients come up to me and be like, "I just want to go viral," and I'm like, "That's not
okay,
how this works. There's a lot of moving parts behind it that you have to invest in before you go viral. So just calm down. That's not what this is about." Because look, with going viral, yeah, sure you can go viral, but if you're not selling anything by going viral, then what was the point? So our strategy and our goal is always around how many leads you want to get from this campaign. How much money do you want to make from this campaign? You may not go viral, but you will still achieve your goal, the revenue goal by having this campaign running the way we have strategized. So going viral is not the main thing. It's monetizing what you're putting out there.
nice. And which one you prefer, branding campaign or actual performance leads campaign?
Oh, that's a good one. Currently, I'm enjoying performance campaigns. Branding campaigns, we do work on them, but they are probably 80/20. So we work on 80% performance campaigns, 20% brand campaigns. And even though I do enjoy branding, we are currently focused more on making sure that we're delivering value and leads to our clients. So we're more focused on performance right now.
Great. I don't have any other questions. Thank you so much, Tina.
Great. Thank you so much. It was really fun. I love the rapid fire round.